Hey everyone, right Brian here. Okay, mock-up, as you can see, is semi-done. It's to the point where it is mocked up. This is what it's going to look like. You don't notice how far those tires are going to stick over until you actually build this. And you see, I thought I had one of my tires on backwards, but I don't. Ran into an issue. I cannot get this frame out of here. I unbolted it, all 6 bolts per side, but the way they have this design, it's kind of like a traditional transaxle a little bit. See up in there, where it bolts to the chassis, but then they have the stabilizers right here. Without cutting this, you can't get those out, and then you'd have to also cut those bolts in there. So I'm leaving it. It's actually going to help me out a little bit because I plan on reusing this whole part of the original chassis. I'm just going to cut out the whole center section. That's kind of why it's sitting on top. As you can see, hopefully in the video, I've had to grind this down a bit. I actually had to cut that center section out. It was a welded in one. It's one issue with these newer tractors. Let's see on the truck if the truck has a similar issue. Yes, it does. See, that's how it was. It was a weld-in front end. The Racer has a bolt-in front end, so it's a little bit better setup. But the issue, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not, the frame's cracked. It's a crack right here, here, and the same on the other side. The weird thing is, this has the holes for a bolt-in front end, but they put a welded-in front end in. So I don't know if anyone can tell me if this is the older setup, or is this how they're doing it now? I'm pretty sure this is how they're doing it now with the newer setups. They're welding them in instead of bolting them in. So that's an issue I ran into, the cracks in the frame. But once I cut this, I'm going to be coming along here, zipping it right along here on each side, going to get it absolutely perfect where it needs to be. I might even tack weld it at the front and at the back somewhere. And then I'm going to cut it, and that whole black section of the frame is going to sit down in there. I'm going to find out my ride height, set my ride height, and it'll be perfect. So I think actually, yeah, they're sticking out reasonably even on each side. So it's an interesting setup. It's just the way it's all designed. The tie rod doesn't actually look like it's going to be too hard to redo. I am going to do a solid tie rod. I'm actually going to get the correct pieces to do it at each end, the screw-on fittings. Hopefully, as long as Princess Auto will have them, they should. So I'm going to do the correct tie rods at each end, have them adjusted correctly. Then I'm going to do some sort of a pitman arm off of here and back for my steering, if I got room, which kind of looks like once this is in place, I should have just enough room to do a pitman arm on the bottom for the steering. Figure out something. It's going to be a bit of trial and error, of course, with anything like this. I'm going to go off of the videos as much as possible for how I'm building this. The videos that people have already done this are key, because someone's already done it, someone's already figured out a lot of the logistics, of doing this. It's just a matter of me doing it. The rags coming with battery, I was too lazy to pull the battery out when I was doing the grinding. But it's at the stage that it's mocked up. Then also, like I said, I'm going to set the ride height. So this whole frame here is going to lower down. So it's going to lower down in there. As you can see, it's hollow in there for the most part. I have an extra clutch from an old chassis I scrapped. I actually saved the clutch on purpose, because I've always had this idea about building this. And it's just getting all the parts together to do it. And I found the clutch just recently. And luckily it's actually a bolt-in clutch, so it should actually work out, and it's a double clutch. So the double part, you gotta bolt that in yourself. Then you just put it where you want it. But anyways, that's where I'm at on this for right now. So I can actually cut out this entire center section pretty safely, and this will actually stay in one position. I gotta still put in the top 4 bolts, 2 on each side, nuts and washers. Put them back in, get that all stabilized. The pulley is sitting right now right around here. So you see how much room I have. Basically, it's going to put the clutch right in this area here, pretty close to the drive pulley. I'm thinking about doing 1 to 1 with a 4-inch pulley. on here. So 4-inch pulley up front, 4-inch pulley on the back, and a double 4-inch pulley off the engine. Should actually be pretty good. Most likely I will be stealing the transmission out of here. It's a Peerless. It's basically an identical transmission to what this one is, but without the 4-wheel steer. So that's where I'm at on this for right now. And I'm done for tonight. So tomorrow I'm going to cut this, hopefully, and I'm probably going to tack this frame just to stabilize it and make sure those cracks don't continue. Because if you lift up on the front here, it separates the crack big time. So and most likely frame connectors will be in order, or I'm going to do something along the edge here, because with the frame connectors, they actually interfere with the oil drain a little bit. And on the truck I had to do some modifications when I put the oil temp in. The gauge isn't hooked up, but it does have the provisions for it. So I guess that's pretty much it. If anyone else has any other suggestions, I'm open to suggestions, as everybody knows, unlike some people. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.